that look pretty, but guess what? They have hazardous air pollutants in them, and they have VOCs. People don't talk about that, and cabinet manufacturers typically don't talk about like what is in their cabinets. Well, luckily, with the KCMA guidelines now, they have a rating system that tells you what is in your cabinets. It's almost like a little FDA label. You can look at how many points they got for what to make sure your cabinets are sustainable and are healthy now. Same thing with flooring. A lot of the adhesive. Same with the paint. I heard people talk about low VOC, HAPs-free. HAPs are hazardous air pollutants. VOCs are a type of HAPs. These are all listed on the FDA website. So when I say HAPs, that's something that the EPA came up with. These are all components of a kitchen. So when you see just those two components, it's like, great, you took some product out of the waste stream, which is good. You did a good thing by doing that. You put compact fluorescents in. It's like, guess what? We're not burning as much coal, so our outdoor air is cleaner, and you're saving on your energy bills. Well, consider the appliances. In here, you have to look at Energy Star appliances. You look at the counters. You look at the countertops. This is your Crystal kitchen, right? Crystal is one of the manufacturers that can do green and do fully sustainable kitchen. They look at it from sourcing the product, getting the FSC wood from cutter woodworking, to what kind of plywood they use, making sure the plywood doesn't have chemicals in it, to the finishes, a complete process. So it's not just the product itself that makes the project green, it's the whole process. So when you're looking at the process, a lot of people say, like, well, I went down the green checklist and now the house is healthy. It's like, well, you created a great environment, and this is where builders and interior designers need to start communicating a little better. They've got an energy efficient house, and then what they do, they don't consult their interior designer. They go out and buy furniture that is full of chemicals and is off-gassing. And when they bring it into the house, they've got this tight envelope, not enough fresh air coming in out of air exchanges. So the energy bills went down, but indoor air quality just went out the window. So because you've got a greenhouse doesn't mean you're living in a healthy environment. You have to consider the built environment and how you occupy the built environment. And that is where you guys are instrumental in talking to homeowners. All your products have chemicals in them. Make sure your chemicals are not adversely affecting your homeowners. There are chemicals currently in houses. Make sure the builders are getting whatever chemicals are currently in the house out of the house through your HVAC and ventilation systems. People ask me, like, well, you're a green builder, so that means you just build a really tight house and make sure no air leaves it. We do want air to come and go from the house, but we want to tell the air where to come and go from. We want to bring it in through the mechanical system, filter it, so people can breathe clean air, and then discharge it through the house, because every product in the house, no matter how green it is going to be discharging chemicals. Just because you have a product that says it's no formaldehyde added, well, added means they didn't add formaldehyde in the process. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have formaldehyde in it. Formaldehyde is a natural occurring chemical that is in most products. We just try and reduce the amount that comes into the house. And performance. This is the favorite part. I'll see these LEED certified buildings that are facing the sun, and you've got a full sheet of glass going from top to bottom. So just because you got enough points to get the certification, or barely get the certification, does not mean the building's performing very well. In a design for a house, for instance, if you're taking a stock set of plans and you face all the windows directly next to the sun, it is good for the window covering people, and I apologize for trying to take business away from you. I'm not taking business away from you. It is good for the window covering people because all the sun is coming in. If all the windows are on the west side of the house, the sun comes in, and what do people want to do? They want to shut the blinds. That's good. I believe in window coverings. I have window coverings in my house, but I want to let the light come in and go based on the natural cycles of the day. Well, your window coverings are going to be put on, which is a good thing. But you want to be able to control the light comes when it goes. But the problem is, during when people come home on the west side of the house, all the sun is coming in, and then you have to turn the lights on. What happens when you turn the lights on? Energy bill is going up. You've got non-compact fluorescents, you've got incandescent light bulbs in that bedroom or in that room where you've not let the natural light come in, and because it's in your face and it's too much, you have to have the window coverings there. And then guess what? Because of all the heat coming off those light bulbs, then you've got to run your HVAC. So if you would have twisted the house 90 degrees to actually work with the sun, and this is more on the architecture and the design side, people need to consider lot orientation. So because you use the green products, you went down the checklist, but you put your house in the wrong orientation, you actually increase your energy bills. You can save 30% on your utility bills by making sure you don't cut down the trees and facing your house in the right direction, which is amazing. Well, the South Base Energy Institute says South Base, but you want to make sure that your house is working with the sun. So if you're in northern climates, you actually want more sun to come into the house in certain parts of the year to heat the house. And there's a lot of building science to that. What you want natural light in the house. Natural light is good, but you want to make sure there's not too much natural light where it's blinding, or too much natural light, or what we call solar heat gain, where it's heating up your house and you have to turn your HVAC too much. In our building, we don't turn the lights on that often in many spaces because there's so much natural light coming in, and it wasn't our design. It's an old building. It's 100 years old. That's just the way they designed it before natural light come in. Now we cut down trees, we put a house there, and we just hope that the lighting is going to be good, and if not, we make it up with artificial environments, unfortunately. So here's a house, and this is actually the south-facing side of the house, and it kind of is designed to work with the sun. This is called equal window. Some of the green guidelines that we use for this particular house: LEED for homes, Earthcraft House, Energy Star, and there's a new program out, WaterSense, which is taking water into consideration in the design. We're a level 4 drought here in Atlanta, so if you're specifying products that use a lot of water, and if you're specifying, this is for outdoor landscape architects, or plants that need a lot of water, you're really not doing much in our plan here. So reduce. In this particular house, we spray foam insulation. What's nice about spray foam insulation is not only does it air seal, it insulates, but also for interior designers, what you'll like is how many people have painted a house and you come back a year later and everything's cracking, all the walls separated, the trim is shrunk, and everything's moved around. Low finishers. How often does it settle? Well, two main reasons. One, air conditioning. You're taking all the moisture out of the house. There's a lot of moisture brought into the house through the building process. And the other thing is materials are moving at different rates. And if you're not controlling the amount that the materials are moving, then walls are going to start to crack, and you have to come back at 11 months or 1 year and patch all that. If you use the proper products like good insulation, you're helping temper some of the movement of the materials. And this also helps lower your energy bills when using good insulation. So insulation, let me go back to that. Sometimes the 2006 building code and international building and also energy code allows for encapsulated crawl spaces and encapsulated attics. So if your attics do not have to breathe if you don't have hot air in them, and if you insulate to the roof line, you don't have hot air in them. What's nice about this is extra storage space. So as an interior designer, you're looking at where do we put all these closets? You can eliminate some closets, use this as semi-conditioned space, and just throw all the junk in these areas. So this is a product as part of a process, and we're talking about product and process, that will help the building perform better. Another way to reduce, we use geothermal HVAC. Again, we use a product, because of this product and the last product, the insulation allowed us to put a smaller HVAC system in. HVAC is very expensive. You get charged by the ton typically for residential and new construction. If you use better insulation, better windows, and put your house in the right direction, and promise the HVAC guy you're not going to put halogens and use compact fluorescents, you will save a lot of money in your HVAC.